Okay. Alright, my levels are looking much better this time. Let's see what actually happens when now that we're back online. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Okay, there's still a bit of a buffer happening where I'm messing with everything. Oh, there we go. There we go. Maybe. Okay. Are we any better now? It now says I have 2 people watching this. This is embarrassing. Okay, yeah, OBS is saying that it's picking up my voice. So that's good. Alright, let's try. Oh no, it's saying the stream's resumed. It's saying it's resumed. And it keeps dropping back. Okay, let's just let it fill out. Let's start playing some music so that way I can hear when it comes back online. It's kind of loud. Let's play with this a little bit here. 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 Okay. It's in an odd loop, but it appears everything is now working like it should. Alright. Well then, good evening, one and all. I hope it's a good evening. I'm very tired. It has been a very big day for me. And I am quite tired, as I have already said. Let's turn this music down a little lower. It's still really loud. Ah, wrong button. That one. Bring that back over here. Thank you. There we go. Let's drop it down a little lower there. Okay. There. That should be good now. Alright, so as you may notice, I am streaming on Linux. I am not streaming on my normal layout of things. This is just mainly due to the fact that for some weird reason, the build of OBS that I built was using different libraries than the back end of it uses, and illegal instructions were flying left, right, and center. There were all kinds of problems. But I'm through it now, so let's get down to some code then, shall we? Oh, what a start. What a very, very rough start. Okay, so I've tried a few of these before, these various little creative type streams. I can't really necessarily say that they were very successful. A lot of the projects that I did work on during those streams have permanently broken, and I can't figure out what's wrong with them. But, you know, I did it for fun. So, what's to say I'm not going to do that again for fun? Right? Okay, so then. The idea is, you know, as the title of this window suggests here, it is an RTS lava blocker. And real-time strategy being maybe a bit of a gloating version of it. It's going to be top-down with multiple units that the player can control. I'm thinking just with the bare-bones prototype, I'm not going to go more than 4. But you will be using what I hope ultimately are multiple sets of tetrominos, or Tetris blocks, to try and build walls to block lava that is slowly creeping across the map towards your units and the base. And the idea, of course, is to build lines with the tetrominos, block off the lava, and then, even more importantly, push the lava back. So I've got a list of stuff here that I've put together on my phone during downtime at work. Let's bring it up here real quick. Alright, so first off on my list was I needed a blank map. Well, when we run it, let's give this a second to put itself together. There we go. I have a blank map. Now I do have this here, which is kind of like a startup for the pole block, which is the long 4-block piece from Tetris. It's a little bit big though, but every time I've tried to go smaller, it like becomes almost invisible to the naked eye. So I might be forced to just work with it at this size. What is my phone updating? Oh. Just updates. Okay. I guess the next thing I need to put together in my system, I don't know if I have the code for it. Yeah, I do. Okay. I need to put together a timer so that every so many seconds the lava will move a block. Now the plan is have the lava start over here on this side of the map, start at the top, and then move down just one block at a time every, say, we'll say 2 seconds, which with 72 blocks between the top up here and this bottom line down here, 2 seconds per block, that gives you about 2.5 minutes before that line is consumed. I think that's a reasonable amount of time. So as we can see here, this is where I have our map set up. It's just an array of shorts, or short integers. So it's not a bad setup, really. I mean, you have 128 going across the width of the screen, 72 going down the height of the screen. So let's just go ahead and make sure we get this timer put together before I go too much further. Timer.hpp. I believe that was it being done. So let's add this class into our setup here. Alright. It's all added in. Everything seems to be good here. So let's go ahead and take a look. We've got a source code open here. Let's take a look at what we have in the timer. All right, we have our global time, the beginning time, the second, minute, and hour. Now the hour is a much smaller number than the minutes or the seconds. It's a 16-bit rather than a 32-bit. That is because, in all honesty, these could be smaller numbers, but this one really wouldn't have to be much bigger because a 16-bit integer, I believe, I want to say it caps out in the, I think that's what a short is a 16-bit integer, so it only goes up to about 30,000 something. But I would say by the time 30,000 hours have passed, you blew it. So I don't think I'm going to ever be worried about capping out the hours. Now if we look under our functions, we do have the advancing time function and then the starting time. The starting time was intended by design. If we see here, the global time equals the tick count, and the beginning time equals 0 when we start the timer. That was because when I built this timer system, I was looking to do like a time-based RTS. In another thing, I was trying to do like an RTS horde defense prototype, and you could use a timer to help you run. You could use a timer to help you gauge when the best times to do things were, kind of like for speed running or StarCraft 2 various timing events and things. So that was I had to have start time separate from the regular advanced time setup, because the beginning time of the match would not necessarily start at the same time as the program, because you would have menu screens in the way. And so time would be lost on those menu screens, and it would throw off how long the match was. So it not bad. Not bad. As someone who hasn't hardly done any kind of timing or anything off of that, I think it's a fairly nice piece of code. And then we have the advancements of the time. And the beginning time, again, from when the beginning of the match started, is just the tick count minus whatever the global time was. So the global time was simply the starting time of the match, global being based off of how long the program itself has been running. And I believe that one was huge. Oh no, I left that one as a 32-bit integer as well. I might need to bump that up to a bigger one. But then right here, it just checks if the beginning time is divided by 1,000. If it's greater than a second plus a minute times 60, which would go up to an hour, times an hour times 60. I don't know why I chose 60 for that, but oh, because 60 minute it takes. Oh, because it's all being gauged by the second count, so I have to change those into 60 minutes to an hour, 60 seconds to a minute, and then the second is just 1,000 ticks. So first thing it'll do, it'll increment the second count, but then it checks if it's above 59, and it's going to reset it to 0, increment the minute, check the minutes, and then move on. Now the reason why it resets at 58 rather than at 59 is because at 58 it doesn't care, at 59 it triggers. It's exclusively greater than, so it would have to trigger at 59. If I set that to 59 here, then it would actually make each in-game minute 61 seconds long, and each hour 61 minutes long, rather than actually being accurate. And I figured that would be very frustrating, trying to diagnose timing issues later. But I'm going to be trying to do something based off of the seconds counter in this. These are public, right? Yeah, these are all public variables, so I'm going to be grabbing this seconds number out of here. And I'm going to be trying to do a second monitoring function out here at the game level, where basically you have to check for the advancement of the lava as the time ticks. Am I still running the stream? Yes, I am. Okay, let's pause that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. Actually, I'm going to just check on lag timing real quick. Okay, well, I don't know what the stream delay is. Never mind. Oh, it's because I've stopped it. Well, never mind then. Let's just carry on with what we were doing. Okay, so the map is by default dirt. And dirt is 0. I want to change that from 0 to 1, though. Just because I don't want it to... I'll have 1 being dirt, 2 being lava, and then the different blocks incrementing from there. But the thing is, I don't want it to be 0, because 0 is an indication of something gone wrong. In most cases. Yeah, it still works like this. Okay. So that's all good. Okay, let's go case 2, box, RGB, screen, J times 10, I times 10. You know what? Let's just copy all this. Except, let's see, this one's red, so let's go here. And then let's leave green at 128, so it kind of becomes an orange color. Hopefully it'll become orange. Yeah, update camera. That turned into a nightmare. Trying to do a camera in this API. I don't know why it's such a pain, but it was. So, alright. This will draw the screen as it is, so let's now make a function prototype in here called, let's make it a Boolean update map. Do I want to call it update the map? Yeah, because I can use this function to then drop where. Now let's not call it update map. Let's call it update. This one specifically the lava, because this is for the lava. So let's go ahead and just leave this. Put that where it is. Okay, update lava. Then we are going to go... I'm going to take this. And put it right here. But before we do this, we... let's see, let's put... Let's make 2 extra shorts. Do I want to make them shorts? No, they need to be at least the 32-bit. Yeah, they need to be at least 32-bit integers to match the seconds counter. So let's put those under here. And if the map shorts, go uint 32. Let's go lava, advance, timer. There we go. The lava advance timer. Let's set this to 0 here, so lava advance timer 0. Alright, let's go int 32, oops, 32 temp timer equals clock dot second. There we go. Now let's go down here and we will say lava advancement timer. Is it advancement or advance? Advance. Lava advance timer equals clock second. Alright, now the reason why we do it specifically this way is I don't want the second timer updating at the beginning of the lava advancement, because there's no way to tell whether or not time has advanced at that point. So what we say here is if temp timer is exclusively greater than the lava advance timer, then temp timer is greater than lava advance timer, then we run through this loop, except at this point we put 127 and 71, and we're working backwards. Okay, got that. And now we have to say if map ij is not equal to 2, we'll just call 2 the lava, because that's what we have it set for in the visuals, then that map coordinate, let's just set this, the map coordinate equals 2. And then we need to return true at that point. This will stop the loop from running endlessly and clogging up literally the entire map. We just have it drop out, it returned, it's done. Have it return false at the end here, so that if we need to check for it elsewhere, we can. So yeah, there we go. You're really only ever going to have a couple of these under such extraneous circumstances. So let's come down here. Let's say in between the control check and the render, we're going to say update lava. Alright, now let's see how well this works. We should start seeing a different color creeping in from over here on this side of the map. And I'm not seeing anything. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, because I didn't start the time and I'm not advancing the time. Yeah. Let's go up to here, underneath the lava, above the lava timer, actually. We'll say clock dot start time. And then at the beginning, should I say the beginning of the loop or after the controls are checked, we advance the time? I'll do that after. Clock dot advance time. There we go. Which is advance the time through the clock, and it then just continues to run. Hopefully this will start changing some things. Yes, no, maybe. I need to change that as well. And I'll figure that out at a later time. For now, I'm just going to do this. Window, resizable, replace that with shown. There. That doesn't allow me to move the window around any. Yep. Doesn't let me do it now. Alright, well, seconds are passing. And it's not doing anything. You know, X number of seconds have passed. And when it hits a minute, it's supposed to say it has been a minute, which is how I verified it before. So why are we not updating the lava? Is there not a point in all of this where the advanced time, where we're at between the time the advanced call is done and the lava update is done? Let's try this. Let's put this up here at the very beginning of the function of the program's primary loop. Let's put it up at the top and see if it's maybe a bit more of a obvious setup. Nope. Okay. If let's bring update lava up here to the top. If it returns true. There, this will tell me. Should tell me if something's going wrong here. If the lava update ever returns true. It does not return true. That is not good. Huh. Okay. We're going to need something clearer here in the function to be able to do that then. So let's try this. Let's move the time units themselves into here. Let's just make us a Boolean here. Second passed. And right after we increment the second counter, we say second passed equals true. At the beginning, it is set to equals false. And we'll start with that. We need some more music, don't we? Hang on, let me go to my music here. Let's just get all of OC Remix on the list, shall we? Because it's all great. Set it to shuffle. Let's, hopefully this isn't going to throw off the title thing. Yes, it did. Well, great. Okay. Well, sorry about this. Should fix it. Not quite. it down a little further. Nope, it's a little bit too far. And getting close. That OBS is covered up. Ooh, get a little bit of inception going here, why don't we? There we go. Okay. Let's just see if I can collapse the side panel far enough to be able to see what I'm doing. Let's go, this one. Here we go. Asterix. Welcome to Switzerland. Okay. Let's get rid of you. Alright, let's check. Okay, in the update lava. If second clock second passed, I'm going to just say if true, because if it's a Boolean, true is assumed if we're checking for an if on it. So that's good. Okay, then if lava advanced timer is greater than 1, lava advance timer equals 0. Well, no, I'll say if it's greater than 1, let's then cut all that and drop it into here. Minus all that nonsense about the temp timer, though, because temp timer no longer exists because it wasn't working. Oh shoot, I messed that up. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Okay, let's go back. No, I need to leave these. I need to leave all this in here because I need to tap that back over because that's where it's going to be now. Okay, if lava advanced timer is greater than 1, then we need to do all that. And then return true. But before we return true, lava advanced timer equals 0 again. If it's not, just say else. Alright, we advanced the lava advanced timer by 1. Hopefully, with the clock time being called at the beginning and with a second having passed and there being a true flag on that, when this is checking it, hopefully it'll still catch it like it's supposed to. Let's see how it goes. 2 seconds have passed. It's supposed to have updated. It's not updating. What's going on? Come on. I'm supposed to be seeing something creeping out over here. So the lava is not updating because it is not returning true. Let's just say right here. The second flag has, let's make that has tripped. There we go. The second flag has tripped, the second flag has tripped, the second flag has tripped. Cool. let's see what the value of the lava advance timer is when this trip occurs. Let's change that to a tab. Why does this music sound so familiar? It sounds like something from Age of Empires. Okay. Second's flag is tripped. It's staying at 2. The song must have played one during one of my StarCraft 2 streams or something, or when I was playing StarCraft 2. Okay, so it never advances past 2, but for some reason... Oh, wait, it's because the loop doesn't run. Duh. There we go. Let's set these to 0. There we go. Because we're working towards 0. There we go. Flag is tripped. Alright, it's... Okay, the lava is advancing. Why am I not seeing any kind of... Oh, there it is, right there. It's coming down from the bottom. Or coming up from the bottom. There we go. The lava's advancing now. That's great. Okay. That is both the timer. Let's see, that is both the timer and the lava now taken care of. So, first thing we do, we go back to the checklist. Checked off the list. Now let's finish up this work I was doing on the pole block. Now each of these blocks will be instances of this particular class. So, if we fire this back up again, this is the block that we have. These two things here, these are not going to trigger all the time. I'm going to have a flag that goes off one of those booleans whenever you select a worker. Worker select will trip a boolean that you can then I will then use in the renderer to then trigger these showing up, because these are the lift points on a block. As you can see, this one has 2. I intend for most blocks to have 2 points to pick up, because the workers are going to be relatively small. They're not going to be any bigger than one of these block sections, and it just doesn't make sense to have one be able to just pick it up and move it instantly. Now, in the event that, say, a worker gets lost to the lava, which is looking a little more brown than I would like right now, but we'll leave that be for now. I'll play around with colors later. You think, okay, but what if I don't have 2 workers to lift? What if my other workers are desperately trying to push the wall back and drive the lava off of the screen? Well, the answer is really quite simple on this. If you don't want the lava, or if you don't have enough of them, I have these here, which are the pushing points for the block. And those are going to differ based on the block. However, I also need to figure out block rotations, because I want you to be able to turn the blocks. I'm thinking I just do that as a button, and you just hit the button and the workers will rotate it. The biggest issue I have is it's going to require an animation script of sorts to shift the workers from where they're at currently to where they are and to manipulate the blocks appropriately. It's gonna be tricky, but I hope I can do something with it. It's probably gonna look something like the old Mario Brothers flame beams. You just have a bunch of disconnected textures just kind of rotating in orbit around each other. I'm probably going to have to do something of that sort. But that is something I will worry about later. In the meantime, the push points need to be changeable. The lift points need to be changeable, so this was just temporary here. So let's make some extra functions that are outside facing, so they need to be in the public section. I'll just make them voids because we don't require a return off of them. We'll see if they don't work. Set lift point 1. Pass it to integers. We only need the X and Y coordinates. The width has already been set here in the setups and everything like that, so we don't need to worry about that. Set lift point 2. Same thing. I go void set push point 1. Set push point 2. You start learning, as you do stuff like this, you start figuring out why it was that games always use some form of a loading screen, because it helps to stall for time and prevent user frustration as all this kind of stuff gets set up initially, because this I honestly have oftentimes felt that a initialization function that runs on for this long, like this is from 21 to 80, so that's like 59 lines of code. I initially felt in my earlier years, I felt like that was an inappropriate amount of code for a single function to hold. And then I downloaded a Linux program. I just downloaded the repositories and pulled it open to just kind of look inside and see what was going on it. And the initialization function in that was split up across 3 separate files. Each one of them well over 3,000 lines of code long. So, and then the load times on the game was like 10 seconds at most. So I honestly am of that idea that, you know, I'm not gonna probably ever overload this whole thing. And with using NetBeans, I can always collapse it. So, according to this, it's 63 lines of code that are inside of it, but it's also counting this one and then this starting line up here, probably. So, yeah, that's enough of that rambling. But I will need to set the push points and the lift points of literally each individual thing. So and the lift points will need to move, as well as the push points. As the animation plays, they will need to move around. I may just make it so that it hides those and they just snap to where they need to be, and then the blocks themselves animate to it. Well, again, that's a hurdle to tackle at a later time. I'm just doing the prototype, so they're just going to snap to where they need to be, and the workers will just lurch over there with it. It's not refined, but it's a prototype. What do you want? Void Okay, let's set lift point 1. Lift point 1 is going to be the one that I had to the left of the block. So, section, no, it's going to be lift point chords, array member 0, x equals past x, dot y equals past y. However, oh dear, what am I missing here? Oh, it's just lift point, not lift point coordinates. Okay. Shoot. W equals right. Yeah, full chords. Yeah, we can just run off of full coordinates. Full coordinates dot w divided by 2. Again, cut it in half because it's going to be a 4 by 4. The system for this was built around the square blocks where it's a 4 by 4. You don't want the full box to get caught up in everything. Actually, that could be a bad idea, actually. Because if it is the pole block, if it's a pole block versus a square block, that's going to alter the width and height properties. I didn't think about that. Alright, it is no longer a 2-coordinate system, it is now 4. Or parameters. There we go. And alright, past width, past height. Let's add those to this. Past height. Okay. Alright, there we go. Full 4-coordinate system there. Dot y equals past y past w Now, one of the main reasons why we have to make sure about this is because when we go to move a worker into these boxes, these are the coordinates it's going to be checking for. And so, as a result, these interaction points need to be exactly where they look like they're going to be. So as a result, you can't really just fudge them like I was hoping I could, where you could kind of just be like, okay, you know, just kind of put them here, put them there. Nope, not gonna work. Past Y. There's a lot of extra code happening here, but that is because the more this is like infrastructure layer, and the more of it that you have, the easier your job down the line will be. So you can't really just blow it off and try to run away or something. Alright, let's do push point 2 real quick. Come on, let's set push point 2 there. Oops. There we go. Okay, now let's recreate this pole block, this time using these new functions. Let's go lift point 1. And let's see, it's going to be set. Point 1 is going to be to the left, so past X needs to be section coordinate 0.x minus section chords 0.w, so that way I'm missing an I in both of those. Sectons, sure, why not? They're all sectons, aren't they? And then for the width, it's going to be the same as... No, this is where it sits on the y-axis, so it's section chords 0 y, same height, or same vertical level. And then for this, it's going to be, for the width, I'm going to set it to section... section chords dot x minus 1. Because the reason being, it's going to be right, we're starting to the far left and then drawing in towards the first block, which is section coordinates set 0. So we want to get it up close, but not have it overlapping. So we'll leave a 1 pixel buffer in there. And then of course the height is going to stay the same as the normal one. Yay! I keep missing an eye. Wee, okay. That's number 1. Yep, hi JoSticks. Yep, I'm streaming it on the YouTubes. Because that way I don't burn up all the data moving it to Twitch. It needs more PowerShell. Yeah, right. Well, can PowerShell do this? Huh? Watch. See? Watch down here in this little corner. See? See? Look at that. See? Can PowerShell do that? Can PowerShell make lava go creeping across the map? I don't think so. Can you even build a map out of PowerShell? Probably, but probably not this quick. I do need to put more lava onto the map, though, to give it a bit more of a bit more, like, stakes in the game initially, but refinement later down the line. I just need to get this thing kind of, like, slapped together. Let's set up lift point 2 for that first block. So, section... why can I not spell tonight? I am so tired right now. Oh. Okay, so section... I actually want to go to section 4. Or no, not chords 4, chords 3. Because 4 doesn't actually exist. That'll just fault us out, I'm pretty sure. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just up to 3, because it's only a 4-member array. No, it is not on GitHub right now. So far, every time I've tried to do anything with GitHub, it ends up breaking something, so I'm kind of letting the GitHub idea rest for a minute right now. Let me get a little bit further before I start posting it everywhere. I've got it backed up all over flash drives and other computers and things like that, so... Let's see, section chords 3, the X coordinate. Actually, we don't need... Actually, do I need the X coordinate? Gonna need... Or do I just use W? Darn it, I can't remember. Okay, no, I'm not going to need the the section coordinates, actually. We can go with the full block's coordinates. Shoot, did I just really... Oh my gosh, okay. Alrighty then, well, I just realized I made a big mistake. I can just, rather than doing all of this based off of the section coordinates, I can use the full box's coordinates. Like, I've got these set right here. Those encase the entire block. All 4 sections are encased within that. You know what? I'm pushing on. Nope. Not gonna get bogged down in my mistakes. Full chords dot W plus 1, and then full chords dot Y, full chords. Hold up. I actually need to use... Okay, let's just use the width of the... first set of section chords for the width on this. And then let's go with the... Let's go with the height chords again. Alright, let's see if these show up where they're supposed to. Not in the slightest little bit. Of course. Okay, so let's blank out this one and see where number 1 goes. Right there. That's that big gray square behind that. That's supposed to be... That's my first thing there. Okay. Let's go... Let's get rid of all this. Let's use the full coordinates this time. Dot x minus... minus... section... chords dot... let's go with 0... Hang on. I'm trying to actually think how these renders work. Huh. I forget how the render works. The render works since these are... Yeah, so I don't need all that, actually, if I'm just doing the basic render, because you know, I only need the width and height parameters for that, so they can just be their true coordinates, can't they? F was not declared O. Alright, so let's try this. Let's go full chords dot x minus the width of the first set of section coordinates. Not full chords W. Again, let's just go with the zero. Dot W, and then a 0 dot H. Here we go. Go with the same width and height as the sections, but don't use the same width and height as the sections. Just remember to keep the coordinates separated. Right. Okay, let's just go down here into this, and let's just fix this here. Let's go past x plus that past y plus. Let's just cut that, paste that there, paste that there, paste it there, paste it, oops, and do that. Paste that there. There we go. There's that. There's that. That. Well, it's double running when the window. But this one's still going. It still doesn't look quite right. But it's looking a lot better than it was. That's for sure. It's a heck of a lot better than it was. It seems like it might be overlapping here in the middle by a little bit. So let's just add an extra -1 here. It didn't help anything. Let's move it to right here and group this in on this one. Get that dot off the screen. There we go. A little bit of dirt. Okay, that looks like it's actually working correctly now. So let's set up where lift point 2 goes now, shall we? All right. Go to the full width end of the collision box on the on our pole. Add a pixel, that's good. Add anything there, that's good. That should all be good, actually. This should work. No, but it doesn't. Why doesn't it work? Oh, it's because the full coordinates I messed up down here. There we go. Y plus, there we go. Oh, goodness me. Are you kidding me? Why do they suddenly explode like that? Oh, right, it's because of this. Alright, what was the... I believe it was 50 pixels, so let's just set these to the static value of 50. Which isn't an ideal setup, because that means it's... Okay. I saw something flickering over here. I feel like. Okay, so that was... Let's go with 25 rather than 50. Okay, that's back to the size that they were before. That's good. So now why aren't the full coordinates... You know what, let's try this. Let's go cut that out there and then post this here. Let's go section chords 3.x plus section chords 3.w. And then in here, we'll make it the same thing. Dot y plus section coordinate 3 height. All right, you know what? We need to add something else to this mixture here. Let's go with a rectangle. GBA screen. Let's go with a maximum on that, and let's go with 128 there, 128 there. Let's see what that color looks like real quick. Yeah, there we go. A nice hot pink rectangle around where the full coordinates are. Alright. Now let's go back up here. The width of the full coordinates section +1 is where this is supposed to be at. Alright, I need to go to the bathroom, so I will be right back. I will contemplate what I am doing while I am gone. Alright. Back into the saddle. Alright, first off, let's get rid of this, make sure that the lift point I'm looking at is the one that's the scoundrel. Yes, it's that one that's over there. Alright. So, it should be sitting clear to the right of those coordinates. And for some reason, it's not. So what would be the anomaly causing this, I wonder? Let's take a look down here. Okay, the width equals the end of the sections. That's all good there. That all holds up there. That should hold up under most scrutinies. Yeah, that should hold up under most things. It's all good there, so why is it that whenever point 2 shows up, it's clear back over there? So it's like 0 plus 1. Why is it at 0 plus 1? Now it's just at 0. Okay. So why is it that it's seeing the full coordinate as 0? Is there something I messed up down here? Doesn't seem to be. See what happens if I just do this. Plus full chords.w. Where does that put me? Right there. Right on the inside of it. So why is it seeing this full set of coordinates here as 0? Because this block right here now. It's supposed to be over here. So why is it right there? I don't get it. I do not get what is happening with this right now. Let's just do something really simple. X is past X is 200. Okay. Let's try this then. Let's go, it's saying it is a 0 though. Let's go full chords W. Yeah, it's seeing that as 0. Let's see what the full... Let's see what full chords has to say in its defense. It also says that itself is 0. Alright. What the heck is going on here? How come the renderer is properly registering where 0 is at, but that function is not? The renderer says that full chords .w is new line. Okay, the renderer says it's at 301. Oh, wait, no, I realize now. Oh, shoot, I know what's going on here. It's not set until after those are being used. Alrighty, let's put these right here and see See how well this now goes. Boom. There it goes. There's where it that's what it needed. Okay. Okay. Playing a bit with a fidget toy there. Sorry. Got a bit distracting. Let's do a +1 here to move it out of the way. A little bit further out from the block. There we go. Yeah, okay. That's good. Cool. Let's bump these out a little bit further apart. Ah, there we go. That looks good. It's nice and neat. Alright, now let's set up where the push points go. The push points, I'm gonna put the push points put these on the bottom. And then, you know what, let's just... Should I just make these like a static... You know, I'm just gonna make these... No, I'm already committed to a bad idea. I might as well just stay committed on it and just keep things simple, just so that when I can fix it later, it'll be fixed via a more blanket method. Because I realized a way where I could just make these back into 2-parameter functions all over again. I can just make these all 2-parameter functions, and I won't even need to have these get set, because they will be set up here. But I'm just gonna stick with what I have. That can be taken care of in a cleanup phase at a later point. So now let's go full chords, width. Actually, no, this one needs to be a section coordinate 3.x. Again with the spelling. .w section chords 0.h. There. Okay, that's all good as far as I can tell. Let's go another box. Let's go push point I dot x, push dot y brackets I dot y push point I dot w push point dot h and 0. Let's go green. 0 255. All right. Alright, let's see how this looks. Okay, great. There's my push points, there's my lift points. And there's the lava slowly creeping along. Alright. Well. That's the pole block. So that's what we do if it's a pole block. Well, the next one is going to be the square block, which is going to be actually quite easy because the lift points and the push points are going to remain the same no matter how it gets rotated. So this is the easier part. I've already got my function prototype. There. Make square block. Alright, let's do for short I equals 0, I is less than 4. Increment that, and then let's do the same as here. Except let's take out starting y because we will have two separate values for y. So I don't want it set in that particular section. But in here, if I is greater than 2. Wait, 2? No, greater than 1. Like down here. Oh, if I is less than 2 is what I have it labeled for. I need that here, so less than 2. Right? No, in this case I need it greater. No, it needs to be less than 2. Yeah, so it's going to be less than 2 and greater than 2, because I'm going to need for both pieces. The last two, the blocks 2 and 3, are going to need different y coordinates from 0 and 1. So, you know what? Let's just do it. Section chords I dot y equals start y. That takes care of those. And then, let's see, will the lift points actually do any good in this loop? I don't actually think they will, because it's just going to be two separate ones. It's going to apply to 0 and 1. Or equal to 2. There we go. That gets those sections set up. let's just go ahead. Go case to make square block. Wizards and Warriors. I've already heard this one. Yeah, Warrior in My Long Johns. Yeah, let's... Cutman Sonata? Nah. Sure, you know what? Why not? Goat, I guess. Let's buy Goat. Some Contra music, why not? Never played Contra, but it's apparently really hard. Oh. Okay. Same coordinates. H. Subtract the height from where the Y is at, and then let's go full chords.h plus 1, because we're now down underneath it on the second lift point, and then there we go. And then set push point 1. Chords 0.w. Okay, same thing as before. Except this time I need to go up. Okay, I need to go Y plus 0.h. And section chords 0.w, section chords 0.h. Alright, that should make us a square block now as well. So let's go, whoop. Should have squares already declared? No, I don't. Okay. Block. Square. These will ultimately be in pointer vectors to expand the counts of them. Square.setup. Let's go with square block, square block sprite, past X. Let's take it down underneath the poles. We'll go 400, 400, and 60, 60. Same as before, and then past type will be 2 this time. And I've got nothing. Do I not have a render set up for it? Wrong place. That should be working then. Do I not have I don't have the render set up here. Render. There we go. This should fix it. Except that the whole thing is completely broken. Did I forget to set the width? I bet you I forgot to set the full coordinates width. I did. Alright, let's just grab this and just cut it whole cloth into here. There we go. Okay. Let's go 2 and 2. No, not 2 and 2. 1 and 1 on this. Because that'll set my upper right corner correct, which is supposed to be over here. Why is it dragged all the way back over there? Full chords X starts here. Along with everything else. Alright, debug statement time. Okay, so X is where it's supposed to be, but W is at 25. So, oh right, it's because I'm not... Sleepy brain. Sleepy brain. Okay, and I need to set up the specific sections. Let's just do this. Let's copy. And now paste. There. Just make this one identical to the one above. Alright, that should now fix things. Alright, now, for the big question, Why ain't the texture passing through like it's supposed to? Square block here is the same as the square block there. It's not null. Let's go in here and let's just say if pass texture is equal, oops, is equal to null, the texture was too hot. And it hot potatoed it, as in it dropped it. And return false. There. The texture was too hot, so it got dropped. But it's still loaded fine. It just didn't pass out to the... Why wouldn't it have passed to the parameter then? Oh wait, it's because I'm not checking if it is equal to. It just sets it equal to. There we go. Although one of these textures is out of place. So let's sort this out. Okay, okay. Let's see here. We've got two. Okay, so section 0. And then we've got this one, and this one, which I'm assuming is the stray one? 0, 1, that must be 2, and then 3. So yeah, 2 is then our oddball out, which I don't... Oh, it's because it's plus the x. It's not supposed to be that, it's just supposed to be equals to starting x. There we go. Now we have our square block and our pole block. Alright. That is the final item to check off of our two final items to check off the list. Oh, I also have block interaction points in here. Let's check that off. So that's that. And it is 11:15. And it has been a sizable day for me. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here with the Horizontal Armada to bid us all a grand farewell. Thank you all who came out to watch. Thanks to those who came by and said a few things. Had a few technical difficulties kind of early on, but it has all been cleaned up. I don't know what I intend to do for the next stream, but I like to figure it out when I get there. So with the final chords of what sounds like maybe something from ESPN, even though it is the Horizontal Armada on OC Remix, have a good night, everyone.